just okay. So 5th of August. So can we see this? 30th of June to the 5th of August. Can we see this timestamp here?
Yeah.
So again, I'm sorry. Bring.
I'm not picking up.
But everyone gets the point, right?
Yeah.
It's what the agents have. The agents have these conversations every day across the country because it doesn't always go in exactly 9 weeks. It depends if they're on holiday and all that sort of. Of course, it's art, not science. But now it's 65. What happened after the 5th of August?
On the 19th of October.
Right, we haven't rehearsed this, have we?
No.
We've not even met personally, have we, before? So, this is completely live. You say it exactly as I do it online. So,
19th of October. You're ringing Pierce again, and you're reducing by a further £5,000.
60k. 60k. It started at.
Need another sheet.
85, 25.
But if you ring the agents in East Grinstead, you're saying, I'm looking for motivated sellers and something that's a bit, nothing's reduced, it just flies off the shelf.
Yeah, and you can ring them in at lunchtime, ring a station in your area, and they will say this. You have to get, if I've got a house for sale, it's on the listing on Zoopla or Rightmove or Open Market, wherever you go. If you've got a house, get your offer in quick because they're flying out like hotcakes. It's a hot market right now, which you might have heard in the press. It's a hot market, things are flying out the door. In fact, if someone puts their property on the market right now, we'll sell it within 2 weeks. So reduce that 9-week cycle down to 2 weeks, and we're actually selling property. Sometimes we're selling property in 3 days. In fact, we had Mark in last week, and he put a property on it. It was a 4-bed detached, and he put it at 270. He knew his prices and sold it in 2 weeks. Got 20 inquiries, 8 people booked a viewing, 9 people booked a viewing, 7 people turned up, 1 person bought the house. So it does happen, it is real, it is a hot market, it is real, but not for every single property. We're not after every single property, we're after the situation. Because the situation here is, it went on for 85, they didn't get a sale because of one of three things. It was presented wrong. That's a big factor in, and Valeria mentioned that this afternoon. It's presented wrong. It's the wrong price, so they've mismanaged the exit, they've mismanaged the market, or they've been too greedy or whatever. Or it's in the wrong location. Now, we can't change the location, can we? The house is where it is. So we can't change that, unfortunately. But we can change the condition and we can change the price. And that's all we have to do with a property. Now, when I'm mentioning condition, I might add presentation is part of condition, because it might just be the presentation that's odd, that's out. Because people do not know how to sell property. That includes estate agents. They don't know how to sell property. Because if I'm selling to an old person or elderly person, I'm not going to put an upstairs in the house. I'm not going to go from a bungalow to a dormer if I've got an old person's suite, because that's just balmy. Because they're not going to buy it. Because old people don't want to live where they come. Families are, and the little kids and the families don't want to live in the same street as the old people, because it's a different type of demographic of people.
And what if these are auction properties?
I'll go into auctions in a second. I've got a slide for that. It's all posh and everything. Yeah, I've got that covered. Remind me if I forget it though. Question on the Zoom.
Yeah, Lorraine says for 200 properties my list is up to 450k. She's in Taunton.
Yeah.
My most reduced is 18%. The flat was bought in 2017 for 115k. It's now on the market at 110. I.e. potential negative equity. Should I be changing the area?
Yes. Or widen.
Yeah, move to Newcastle.
In fact, what we've found out with Josh, but this is for everyone really, Bristol is incredibly hard to work as an area, as a patch. Incredible. Nothing wrong with London. There's bags of deals in London. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You're in London too, aren't you? There's nothing wrong with London at all. And if you're in the north above the M62, it's like a kid in a sweet shop. If you're in the Midlands, kid in a sweet shop. There's nothing wrong with Midlands property and Northern property. That's East Midlands, West Midlands. If you're east of Norwich, East Anglia, along that coast there, baskets. I mean, they're just, don't go, come in. Come to Norwich, come to Ipswich. You can't do deals out there, it's too hard. I'm not saying there's no deals there at all, but it's really hard. If you're in Cornwall, again, it's really hard. You've got to come into that main kind of block of the country to do deals in that M1, M40 corridor to do deals. But there's nothing, if you're north of If you're in the north of the Midlands, there's bags of deals there, tons of them.
You know what you're doing on the 1st of November?
Right, so let's go on. So we're at 60 grand right now. Let's continue with our, because I don't even know what the house is yet. So what's it?
1st of November, you're ringing Piyush.
Yeah?
Hey Piyush. It's a lovely place. And I think if we can just come down a little bit, probably another £5,000.
So what we're at now?
55.
55.
I'm pretty sure at that stage we should get you a buyer. In fact, I might even buy it myself at that.
So what, 1st November at 55 grand, bear in mind it started at 80, 85. Could this be a motivated seller?
Yes.
This is definitely a motivated seller. So this is now on, and I don't even need the rest of the story, you're getting the idea, right? So I've got what's called a stock list. I can promise you the search you've just done, every single deal you'll do the next 12 months, if you stick to an area, will come from that stock list. You know how to do it now. That's the stock list, because they're all there. They're all sitting there ready for you. You don't have to do leafleting, you don't have to do bandit boards, you don't have to do newspaper advertising, you don't have to do FB ads, you don't have to do anything at all. They're all sat there waiting for you to get. So that's your stock list. Some of them will turn into, which our next session is going to turn into your viewing list. Because you can't view every property. You only view the ones that make sense, that you want to dig further into the motivation, the situation of the seller. Now, bear in mind, I don't even know what property it is yet. It could be a flat, could be a house, don't care. But those, some of them will turn into a viewing list. Another list will turn into the tracker list.
Given that a list can be tracked, then wouldn't we tick sold so there was a contract as well?
Goes in the tracker list.
The sold that, okay.
Yeah, goes in the tracker list. Why does a sold subject to contract go in the tracker list?
Because wouldn't there be 3 houses fall out of bed?
Because 4 houses deals fall out of bed, yeah. Is that what you're going to say, Jeff? Yeah. Deals fall out of bed. When it falls out of bed, if I'm tracking it, it's on a 28-day callback, so I'm calling every 28 days. If I'm tracking and I'm the only one that knows it fell out of bed yesterday, I know I can get it as a deal. Whereas everybody else has just walked by, every investor's thought, oh, it's sold, they'll not even inquire about it. If I'm tracking it, and bear in mind I'm tracking 64 properties in Nuneaton right now, I can speed up or slow down the business depending on how hard I want or how fast I want them to drop as deals.
So could you explain us then how to get on the track list?
Right, it's one you can't view, so if it's a sole, if it's sometimes on the listing it'll say SSTC, sold subject to contract, and that means even if you're an agent and say, oh, it's sold, it might be sold, but it's not sold. That's
It might not even be exchanged.
It's not even exchange, yeah. Sold subject to contract does not mean sold. It means someone's agreed to pay the price of their house. That's all it means.
So you're coming in offer.
No, it goes on the track list because right, okay, I'll do the track list.
Sorry.
So let's ignore the viewing list for the time being. So we've got sold SSTC on the tracker list, or we've got an auction property on the tracker list. Because an auction property we don't want to buy it because it's in an auction. So we've got 2 types of house in the tracker list, or flat is my wish. And my call, but I can't use Pierce now. Can I use Jeff? Is that right? Sure. Jeff, you're my agent, and I've got a property that I'm tracking. Sold SSTC. You can make it up. The answers it doesn't matter. So bring. Is that Jeff the agent?
Speaking, how can I help you today?
Jeff, I'm on a property. It's a 1-bed flat in East Grinstead.
Yeah.
1-bed flat in East Grinstead, and it's on at I think it's Markule Way. What's happening? It said it was sold last month. What's happening to it now? Is it completed?
Not quite. We're still waiting for the mortgage to come through.
So he hasn't got a mortgage.
Not at the moment, no.
Oh, right. When did he apply for it?
About 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks. So I'll probably give him. All right, I'll give you a call in a month. Not a problem.
Okay, thanks for
Bang.
the time.
Right. Did you feel any pressure whatsoever on that phone call?
No,
Was there anybody uncomfortable in that phone call?
No.
Can everybody make that phone call?
Yes.
You're now tracking properties.